Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I realized that I did not do a intro to the video, so this is a video about the student that I've had with me for the past 6 months. She finally finished her externship and I wanted to do an exit interview with her. So this is a video that you will be seeing in this video. But I also wanted to, at the end, stay tuned because I have some key points for ultrasound techs exiting their internship, externship, going into the working world. So stay tuned for that. Hope you like this video and welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Tamika. Thank you so much for coming, and please continue to watch, and also consider to subscribe to my channel. I do a lot of ultrasound things here, lifestyle and family vlogs. So stay tuned and see you in the end. Bye. Hi. You're back again.
Here I am.
Oh my goodness. So today, Monday, is your last day of your externship.
Yes.
How do you feel?
Yes. I feel accomplished.
Awesome.
I feel nervous because now I'm actually going to have to start applying for jobs, looking for jobs, starting my big girl job now.
I know.
And I don't have someone there to hold my hand anymore.
No, well, you haven't had nobody holding your hand for a while now. Probably what, the last 4 months?
Yeah.
Yeah, like you've been rocking it.
Since like January, I think that's when you let me finally.
Yeah, so what, 5 months? Wow. That's pretty cool. I mean, you're spot on. I kid you not. You will have no problem. What do you think like are good strategies to help you find that dream job you're looking for?
Well, definitely I need to take the registry exam. That's going to be my first start. I'm looking on like Indeed and LinkedIn at jobs, but definitely I've been trying to boost up my resume right now. I've been emailing with my school and they've been kind of like giving me tips and pointers on what to do with that. Definitely I've been studying, reading up on my book just to, you know, get a review on all the anatomy and stuff.
Well, what I think you're on the right track as far as like looking for a job. Like what are you doing to look for that dream job?
I've also been looking at just everywhere. I'm not stuck on one certain location. Yeah, I'm looking around here, but I'm looking up in like maybe like 20 miles down the road up in like Folsom. I've been looking in the Bay Area. I've been looking in San Diego. I've been looking in Idaho, Salt Lake City, Denver. I've been looking everywhere just to see what's hiring and who's hiring. Okay.
So what I would do is definitely stay open to location. Don't zone in on one area. You may have like, oh, I really want to work here, but that might be a year or two from now. Prime example, I know a student who got hired right out of their externship in Alaska. Now, will you go to Alaska? I'm not quite sure, but it opened up doors for her to be able to, okay, now I want to move back to California, and she had her experience, and now she's working in the hospital she wanted to work in. So it's a little tough exiting ultrasound, you know, externships, because they require you to have 6 months to a year experience. So definitely do your due diligence as far as like just flood the hiring market, like everywhere. Clinics, hospitals, veterinarian places. Definitely open up broad aspects of the employment area, because I'm telling you, just staying in a remote place hoping that you get a job where you live, probably 9 times out of 10 is not going to happen. So that's a good strategy. You're looking everywhere, which is number one key. Do you feel you're equipped to go on a full-time job, like to actually accept a full-time job, leaving your externship site?
I feel like I have the knowledge enough to know the scanning and things, but different places have different ways of doing things, so it's just about being flexible and being open to that. And I just feel like I'll need someone when I start a new place just to show me the ropes. That's the only part. Like, I've only worked here, so I don't know what it's like in a hospital or other places.
True. Now, what I have done, which you don't know, is I have equipped you with that knowledge. And when I say that is that through your scanning, you'll be fine. Now, you might want to go to another place and be like, okay, where's your exit strategy? Or your, you know, what's your emergency plan? Past that, like, when you walk into a company, when you walk into a hospital, the main thing that you're going to be doing is scanning. So to get the lay of the land as far as just where you're working is one thing, but to know, okay, I could call a patient back and scan an abdomen. How long does it take you to do an abdomen now from when you left school?
Maybe less than half an hour. I remember in school, they give us an hour to do an abdomen, and we took the whole time to do that. And now I'm getting it done in 30 minutes less. Maybe all depends on the patient, obviously.
Now, do you feel that once you go to your job or you get hired on, that you can work independently?
Yes. I have a great clinical instructor who kind of pushed me in that way, to where in the beginning when I first started scanning, I always like look over my shoulder and I would look at you and you're like, well, what do you think?
Right.
Maybe. Okay, fine. What do I think? And I would just have to, you know,
get in there.
I just had to drown a little bit to learn how to swim, you know? And so now it's just given me a little more boost to be like, you know what do I think? What do I think that is? And if I think it's something, I'll take a picture of it, I'll do color, I'll do that, and then afterwards I'll be like, hey, maybe you should take a look at it just to, because I am still a student, so it's like I'm still working on it. But.
Well, now, say for instance you had that scenario in the real world, right? What would you do?
I would still take images, still take color, write on the sheet, be like, possible, blah, 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 versus whatever else, and then now it's time for the radiologist to decide, I guess.
Right, exactly. So, but you would do that.
I would just be like, it doesn't look normal.
Adding to that, definitely ask a tech. If you're, you know, a second pair of eyes is great to have, and a tech will always be willing to help you. Or ask the radiologist, hey, this is what I saw. This is what I think it possibly is. Do you want more images? Things like that. Like kind of get their feel of it, because they're going to be reading it. If you're not sure, I mean, if you feel like it's a simple cyst, write simple cyst in, you know, in the right ovary, what have you. But if you don't feel that it's that, and you see septations and it's ugly looking, definitely just write it down, describe it the best you can, and bring it to the doctor, or say, hey, tech, can you come in and take another look at this? I think I see something, not quite sure. And it's totally okay to do that. With the knowledge from school, your externship, and everything, do you feel that you could enter a site and feel comfortable in your scanning, in your knowledge?
Yes, I don't want to be overconfident, but I feel confident in my scanning skills and my personal skills and all the skills that go with this job. The only thing that really worries me is just what goes along with every other job that everybody do starting at a new place. Everybody's worried at a new location.
Absolutely.
But with ultrasound and my skills in ultrasound, I feel confident enough. Especially just being new and just having this experience.
Right.
I feel like my school set me up for success. I feel like you set me up for success.
Awesome.
I don't think y'all want to see me drowned, so.
No, not at all.
Now it's like it's up to me to, you know, you just have to go in there and
We equipped you. Now it's up to you,
Yeah,
right? Exactly. The GE, you've been working on a Logic S8. I'm not sure what you worked on in school, but
Sequoia.
Ultrasound Sequoias. Do you feel like, say for instance, you get a different machine, do you feel that you know the knowledge of the knobs enough to be able to, like, okay, I can work on this other machine, Philips or what have you, without feeling so overwhelmed?
I don't think I would feel overwhelmed or nervous. It's just, it would take, the first couple of times it would take me a few minutes to, because after you work on this machine for so long, it's just muscle memory of where your hands go. So working on a new machine, you're just going to be a little bit slower. Like, okay, you have to think about it now. Okay, freeze button. Okay, store button. Okay, where's the color? Oh, it's over here. Instead of just boom, 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 boom.
Right,
boom.
exactly. Awesome. Great job. That's how I kind of was hoping you answered that. Like, I don't know. Yeah, because, you know, with learning a new machine, the buttons are pretty much, they try to keep it like universal, where they're in the same location. Everybody wants to like look different aesthetically, but typically the buttons are in the same region.
And usually they say the same thing, like color flow, CF, pulse wave, PW. You
Yes.
just gotta look for it, but it's just, you know, muscle memory on where your hands are gonna go.
Absolutely. Do you feel from your school to the end of your externship site, you've picked up a different way of scanning?
Oh yes. Oh yeah. Our school, they give you like certain protocols and certain things. So when you're first scanning, you kind of, I know, like, because you're scanning the same people, so you're used to where the probe goes on each person. That's kind of, you shouldn't be memorizing that, but you do just because you want to get it quick and over with. Now here, when you're scanning different people every day, you kind of learn these tricks that I've observed on you. Okay, turn to your right side. Okay, deep breath in. Okay, let it out a little bit. And then you learn like different ways of getting like the main portal vein. That was my big thing. I know, that was my big thing when I first started here, because I was so used to everyone at my school. Okay, we would always place the transducer in this location. That's where it is. And you would turn it a certain way. But then watching you scan, you sometimes have it like sagittal on the person's body. So I'm like, oh, okay, so maybe I should do that. And so it's just kind of like different things that you pick up, different techniques that you observe on other people to.
Right.
And then with you, you're like, you can go intercostally. If you can't see it, go intercostally, you know, just get the images that you can see and call it.
Now, say for instance, this is your first job, you have your first patient, and you can't see the aorta, the proximal aorta. What are you gonna do?
Well, if it's I would definitely have a little mental breakdown, you know, internally, obviously, but you can't help that sometimes.
Right.
But you just have to increase your depth, you know, work on, you know, stuff like your frequency, your focus. You gotta remember to go back to the basics, because sometimes you forget about that stuff. You just gotta go back to the basics, have the patient take a deep breath, press a little harder. You know, you can always go different locations, you know, you just have to.
What happens if you don't see it?
Sometimes you have to just say, area, move on.
Are you going to stress about it?
No, which sounds bad, but you want to try to get the image, but if you do everything and you still can't see it, sometimes you just have to say, this is the area that it should be. I'm not seeing it. Sometimes the patient's gassy, sometimes the patient is overweight, sometimes you just can't see it. And then you move on, mid-aorta, boom, distal aorta, boom.
Absolutely. Okay, so I'm just going to give you some scenarios now. The patient comes in and her bladder is empty for a pelvic. What should be done?
Well, it depends on how open your schedule is. Sometimes you've had them, okay, you need to drink your water, come back if I'm open later in the day. But if not, you have to reschedule. Because if I can't see anything, I can't do anything.
And why do we need a full bladder?
It gives you a window to see the uterus, and so you can see it easier, and then it kind of like pushes it back so you can see the long view of it.
Okay.
Because if the bladder's empty, the uterus kind of folds over itself, and you can't get a good transverse image of it.
Awesome. What if there's an exam that you have not done on your externship site or in school, such as like OB, and you have an OB on your schedule? What will you do?
Well, for OB, like definitely babies, I have maybe seen like 2 in my life. So I would definitely want someone there to back me up, because I mean,
Are you gonna be scared to ask?
No, because I don't want to scan it and be like, oh yeah, I know what I'm doing, when I have no idea what I'm doing, because that just would make me look bad, and it would make everything worse. So I'm not confident. I would need someone there with me, but I would want to be scanning so I can definitely learn it, because I need to eventually learn it.
Right. So never be. So that question was just pretty much to say, never be scared to ask for help.
Yeah.
In spite of, you want to have that confidence, but sometimes, you're just like, oh God, I don't know this, and it's okay to ask. Totally okay. And depending on how the schedule is, they might allow you to scan. But say the tech might say, I'll take your OB and you scan my abdomen. So sometimes they're swapping patients. So just play it by ear. But never take on a case. I did.
Speaking from experience.
I did that. It didn't turn out well for me. But never take on a case that you feel like, okay, because my confidence was there. It was like, okay, I've seen it done. Like, I could do this. And I totally jacked it up. So never don't feel so proud that you can't ask. Yeah. That's pretty much what I'm saying. Oh my God, my first OB case was tragic. I just was like, okay. I was like, all right, I did it. I turned my images in, and the lead tech was like, what is this? I was like, it's an OB. No, let me go show you the proper way. So they don't mind showing. But just don't be scared to ask like I was, because I was like, and this is all going off of experience. This is what, almost 20 years ago. It was my first OB. I didn't do OB in my extern, and I didn't do OB in school. So like, that's why I asked you that question. I'm like,
and that's what makes me nervous, because I have no experience in it, but
it's unfortunate. Yeah, it's unfortunate, because it would be nice to learn that on your externship.
It was never a thing that I actually wanted. I never really wanted to go into OB, but I still think it's a nice
It's a good thing to know.
Like,
Absolutely.
At least have the basics of it.
Yes.
I just haven't scanned anything to have basics.
I agree. Absolutely. Even though, say, you don't want to do testicles all day long.
Yeah.
Right? But it's a good skill to know how to do them. Don't never limit yourself. And this is coming from experience and coming in from also different avenues. Like, you don't never know where this road is going to take you. So if you know that skill, or you've brushed on that skill at any point, that's an extra additive to your resume. It makes you look better. Even though you may not want to do that. Every tech, I believe.
But I can do it. That's
right. Exactly.
I want to do it, but I sure can.
Girl, every tech knows how to scan an upper extremity arm, but we hate doing them. Oh, I don't know what it is, but I see one on the schedule and I cringe. I'm like, oh my gosh. And that's across the board. I think every ultrasound tech is that way. But, you might one day go into neurosonology, baby brains. I absolutely love that field. I hear there's like six figures to be made in that field. If I could find me a job doing that all day, every day, I would. But you might go into that. But then also they might be like, you know what, Allie, can we add this abdomen? You know how to do an abdomen, right? So never limit yourself. Always absorb anything that someone's willing to teach you. Because a lot of techs are very like, I don't want her to take my job, so I'm not going to teach her how to do this. You get in there, you push for it. You ask, hey, can you train me on this? You ask those things. Today's your last day, but it's the beginning of the rest of your career, which is awesome. It was my pleasure to work alongside of you and to train you and to equip you with the things that you're going to definitely need. Everybody that I have worked with in my externship or trained, I believe all of them have jobs. All of them have jobs, one way or another. So I don't believe that you're not going to. The school that you went to, I feel, equipped you with the information you need. They definitely set you up to take your ARDMS, to get your registries, your national boards. I mean, you could go to Guam if you wanted to and work. That's the luxury of this job. It's everywhere, and they're needed everywhere. You could go traveling, you could do so many things, and it's on someone else's pocket. So you did choose a great career. My suggestions or things to you is keep your body to not be broken down. Limit yourself. I won't do more than 12 to 13 patients a day. You don't want to, there's a lot of shoulder injuries. So be cautious of that. How you're scanning, how you're holding your arm, your positioning. Utilize the patient's knees, utilize the patient's abdomen. Things that I was told never to do, and I believe that's why a lot of techs back in my day got injuries, because they had taught us to hold our arm up. And that is just like 13 patients after, you're like, really? Yeah. So you definitely want to be careful. But standing, if you could sit, great. I stand doing my patients, but I'm quick. So, you'll get there. I think one thing when I was in school exiting, I wanted to know, how did everything connect? Like, okay, so I did this, now where do I go with this? No one could break that down to me, and I hope that I've done my due diligence with you. I was scared. Like, I didn't want to apply for my first job. Like, I didn't want to do that because I felt like I wasn't ready, where in fact I was. And you are ready. You're ready to conquer it. You're awesome. You're excellent tech. Anybody will love to have you. And I say that by just seeing your confidence, how it's grown, how you've progressed with scanning, your time on things. It takes you now 20 minutes to do a pelvic, where in the beginning it was like, God, is she ever gonna finish?
Stop!
Like, just take the picture already. It's perfect enough. Don't overthink your images.
And I hear you in the back of my head saying that too, and it's making me more nervous.
And so, yeah, definitely. So I've definitely seen your growth, and you're awesome. The other thing is that, okay, so you made it to the end. Thank you so much for watching. It was a great 6 months with the student that you saw in the video. She is an outstanding sonographer, scanner. She came into like her internship or externship. I'm not sure what you call it. I call it externship. So, but she came in and she was kind of cautious at first, but her determination and her confidence exuded. So it was like so easy for me to train her. I didn't have to really hold her by the hand too much. So with that being said, I wanted to just mention key points on how to find an ultrasound job in 2020. I know right now it's crazy and a lot of businesses are not hiring. However, and I'm talking about medical, if you are exiting your externship and you have your SPI, which is one of the registries that you definitely need, and you just need to get your other like one more license to have the certificate or the actual initials of ARDMS, I highly recommend taking a month or two to get in that other registry. And then after you have that, or prior to having that, start looking for jobs. The last month of your externship, I would definitely say start submitting your resume. Boost it up. Make sure that you list everything you learned at your externship site. Boost things that you learned in school. Things that you are really confident, put at the top. Things that you kind of like are questionable or you might need some help or guidance on it, put towards the middle of, or the bottom of your list. But definitely put everything on your resume. You have to remember, you just spent 6 months in an establishment training and learning, and that is all good things to put on your resume. That's experience that you earned. So make sure that that stands out on your resume. The other thing is, make sure that when you do apply for a job, don't say, student, don't mention any of that. Just say, I'm looking for a job. It doesn't have to say I just ended my externship. It doesn't have to just say I'm freshly new grad. It doesn't have to say any of that. Just say, I'm looking for a job. Plain and simple. Go straight to the point. The other thing is, apply online at the official site. Go on like Indeed, search engines, and just throw out your resume. The thing that I mentioned in the video, be open to move. This is a new experience, this is a new career, so why not have a new life behind it as well? I mentioned in the video as well that I had a student that, a tech that I knew, she moved to Alaska. Now, is that drastic? It is, but she was determined and she got accepted without having that year of experience behind you. I didn't have the year experience behind me. This was 20 years ago. However, it has not changed. Someone is willing to take, not a risk, but take you on, welcome you, open those doors for you, because they know how hard it is to find that first job. And so they're more than willing, if they see you're determined, call the radiology department manager, call the lead tech, say, hey, I'm looking for a job, are you hiring? My name is so and so. Put your name out there, let them know that you are really looking for a job. And when one comes up, your mind just might pop up into their mind and reach out to you. This is my contact information, here's my email, you could contact me here. So make sure that you're doing everything that you possibly can in that sense of looking for a job. I did fax back in the day. There's definitely apps on your phone, smartphone, that has a fax mechanism, and you could download that app and you could fax out your resumes to department managers. So those are the key points as far as getting a job. Be open is the other one, to looking and searching for a job. It may not be in your hometown, but it may be 30 minutes to an hour away. It could be in a different state. I was completely open. Wherever God led me to get a job, I did. So I actually found my job from my school where I was living, 600 miles away. So I was willing to move and go back. It was back in my hometown, but it wasn't in the town that I had graduated from. So I actually went out of town, out of state. Well, no, I'm sorry. I actually went out of town to Southern California to do my schooling. So I wanted to stay there, but I couldn't find a job there. So I started canvassing and making sure, like even face visits, I started doing that. And I sent my resume out, and my hospital here, a level 2 trauma hospital, ended up hiring me here. So just make sure that you are doing your due diligence in finding a job. Word of mouth is a good thing. Your externship was an interview, so that's a possibility in itself. Make sure that you are showing up on time. Make sure that you are putting in the effort, that you want this job. Like this, you are a candidate, and I am a good candidate, and show them that you are. Don't mind the clothes. I have folding to do, but I'm gonna get to that in a minute. So yeah, I mean, definitely this is like the one thing that she asked me, the one thing that my student asked me was, how do I find a job? And I kind of just like, hey, this is what you need to do. I went through the yellow books. I went through want ads. I did things that, you know, I just threw my name and resume out there like it was nothing. And lo and behold, I've never been without a job from day one, stepping away from school. So these are just key points that I did and the experience that I did. And I'm just trying to share everything that I know with you guys. So I really hope that, and you know what? Don't be so stuck on the numbers. Your first job may be only $21 or $20 an hour. Take it, because that right there is foot in the door. Don't never be like, don't never be too bougie to say yes to a job. And that's because it's helping you. It's a stepping stone. You don't have to stay there forever, but you will develop, you'll develop your skills more, and also you'll be able to earn that experience that ARDMS is asking for. Or not even ARDMS, other employers are asking for. So definitely take heed to what I just said. The next thing, I had a lot of questions with, do you feel ready when you leave your externship site? No, you don't. But like in the video I mentioned, I didn't know how everything like meshed together. And so with that being said, I literally just, one thing I did do is stand on faith. And I knew God was didn't bring me this far to leave me. And so when I entered into my first job, the lead tech was like, let me show you this and let me do this. And I botched my first OB ultrasound. I looked at someone doing it. I didn't do OB in school, so that was a training I didn't have. But I'm like a visual learner, and so if you show me once, I got it. I got it. You don't have to worry about it no more. But the tech that I was watching didn't really know what she was doing, so it kind of messed me up. And when I showed my images, it was I had turned my TGCs all the way up, because that's what she told me to do. You're going to turn your TGCs all the way up when you take a cervix shot. So I was like, okay, no problem. And so with that being said, it was a hot mess. It was a hot mess, but it's okay. It's okay, because it wasn't life-threatening, one. But at the same time, I had a tech that was willing to teach me. And all techs aren't willing to teach, but there's some out there that will. Prime example, I am. So there is some techs out there that are willing under their arm and really school you and teach you on what they know and their knowledge and pass it on to you. Please absorb that information. Okay, so I think this video is long enough, but I will see you in the next one. And if you have any more questions, please follow me over on Instagram, DM me over there, and I'll be more than willing to follow up with you and to answer any questions. Leave a comment below if you say, hey, you know what, I don't really want to do the Instagram thing, but I'm going to leave my questions right here. Sometimes it's hard to leave information on YouTube because it's kind of public. So a private message is way more better. But to each his own. Comment below. Go over on Instagram. And also, can you please hit that subscribe button below and hit that like button. It helps me out so other people could see my channel and what I have to offer. I so appreciate you staying this long, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.